Okay, just a minute. In case of your control system, it is consists of control hardwares and control software. In case of control hardware, it consists of mini and micro computers. The next is programmable logic control data, then communication network starting from the computer to the different type of machines, and that machine should be synchronized with mini and micro computers. Switching device that is used for on and off of that particular machines, and other peripheral device such as printer, mass storage memories, and equipment to enhance work capability in case of flexible manufacturing systems. So whenever we have already visited different kind of plant. As far as concerned with the visa still, as you see, this particular furnace is directly synchronized with numerical control machines. Then that visa still, you have already observed that whenever the electrode touch the raw material, a particular sparking is occur, and that sparking is totally controlled by the numerical control machines through the synchronization of computers. The computer provide the different signal along with the communication networks. So due to that programmable data and communication network, the electrode should be moved from top to bottom or upward and downward motions. And in this regard, they can perform the melting operations. Similarly, in case of any kind of mechanical works of more number of machines are directly synchronized. In case of CTDC, you have observed so many numerical control machines that should be performed different kind of complex manufacturing operations. The next part is control software. So basically, in case of manufacturing environment, the computer integrated manufacturing software, computer aided manufacturing softwares. So these are the very vastly used software in case of manufacturing environment. But apart from these things, it is the set of files and programs that are used to control the physical subsystem. In most cases, it directly controls the physical subsystems, which include workstations, then storage retrieval system, and the last one is material handling system. I'll show some case regarding this particular topic, how they control different workstations and different your storage retrieval system, along with how they handle or how they perform different tasks through the material handling device or the material handling systems. So basically, this software is efficient of your flexible manufacturing system that totally depends upon the compatibility of control and control of hardware that is known as your mini microcomputers, the programmable logic controller, then communication switching device, and other peripheral device like printer, and also in case of memory. So these are also control the different software also. So as I told, the vastly used software like computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, computer-integrated manufacturing. These are the very vastly used software in case of manufacturing environment. Then moving to the next, the most important or basic features of physical component of your flexible manufacturing systems. In case of physical or basic features of physical component are divided into 5 types. The first type is known as numerical control machines. The second one is work, holding, and tooling considerations. The third one is material handling equipments. And the fourth one is inspection equipment. And last one is other component, which is directly involved in case of physical component of your flexible manufacturing system. So we'll discuss one by one. In case of control machines tools, basically the machine tool are considered to be the major building block of flexible manufacturing system, as they determine the degree of flexibility and capability of flexible manufacturing system. So if you consider the mass production, if you consider the batch production, this numerical tool is vastly used in case of if you take the integrated organization, in case of automotive part buildings organizations, and these tools are directly fixed in the work table, and they perform multiple tasks. And the next part is that if you go to the different feature of this particular machine tools, the first feature is majority of flexible manufacturing system use horizontal and vertical spindle machines. That means a particular spindle is there, and the spindle is hold the machine tool, and that tool should be perform different operations through X, Y, and Z directions. And the next part is that how about the machining center is vertical spindle machine, they have lesser flexibility than the horizontal machines. So whenever you consider the vertical spindle machines have lesser as compared to your horizontal welding machines. In case of, in this regard, if you take the best machining procedures, for example, in case of milling operations, milling means that surface should be milled, or the cheap unwanted material should be removed from the surface. And if you place the tool on the horizontal machining, it should easily remove the part in X and Y directions. Similarly, the machining center have numerical control movement. As I told, it should be move X direction, it should be move Y direction, it also move Z direction depending upon the complexity of job. So this movement made all the direction. Example, the spindle movement. The spindle means the spindle hold the machine tools, and the tool should be moved in X, Y, and Z direction, and rotation of table, and even the job table also rotate in 360 degree, and some machines are rotated in case of 180 degree, some are rotated in 90 degree. But in case of 90 degree, they are considered to be a tilting of tables. So this ensure different kind of high flexibility, which is directly involved whenever you go for complexity of job or complex machining job in this regard. The last point is that the machining center are able to perform wide variety of operations such as turning, drilling, then countering operations, and they consist of pellet exchanges. So in some cases, these are the different kind of operation are considered in case of batch production or mass productions. So in case of turning, drilling, and countering, in these are, in most cases, it consists of pellet exchanger that interface with material handling device. So some pellet exchangers are directly involved, and that pellet should be lifted to this particular job from one workstation to other workstations. And these devices are within the machine center and well automated storage, and these are also well connected, or you can say well communicated with the automated storage and retrieval system. So these are the whole view of numerical control machine. The first one is majority of this spindle movement, starting from the vertical spindle and the horizontal spindle. The next is the direction of machine tool movement. It starts from X, Y, and Z movement. And the next is that should be perform different variety of job. What variety? For example, suppose someone is directly go for drilling operations, someone go for boring operations, someone go for countering operation. In this regard, you have to attach a pellet exchanger. That pellet exchanger should be well connected with automated storage and retrieval system. So these are the things. So here the typical examples. If you visit the CTDC Bhubaneswar, they have this type of machine. This machine is directly, or you can say that is directly synchronized with a mini and micro computers. And by the help of this mini and micro computers, they can perform different tasks in the movement of spindles, starting from X, Y, and Z movement. And these are the special machining tools which is attached with this. If you see the figure A, this is the vertical spindles, and this and rest B and C are the horizontal spindles, and they have attached the different type of tools. And as you see, this they directly indicate the X movement, the Y movement, and Z movement. Even they are enabled for rotating around 360 degree, and some are perform the tilting of this particular tables. In this regard, the machine, the numerical control machine, can be perform various complex or various intricate, or you can say that is they can perform difficult part machining operations. The next one is work holding and tooling considerations. In case of work holding and tooling considerations, it includes pellet in the form of fixtures, tool changers, tool identification system, coolant, and chip removal systems. So it has following features. The first feature is before machining, it starts on the parts. They are mounted on fixture. So the fixture must be designed in such a way to minimize the part handling time, and the modular fixture has come up at an edge and attractive method to fixture a variety of part quickly fix, or parts should be quickly fixed on the work tables. The next part is the use of automated storage and retrieval systems. The material handling systems such as automated guide vehicle lead to higher use of fixtures. The last feature is all the machine center are well equipped with tool storage system called tool magazines, and moreover the employment of quick tool changer, tool regrinders, provision of spare also for the same. So in case of war handling and tool consideration, the most important thing is if you directly involve different kind of fixture to perform mass production or batch productions, you have your machine should be enabled of tool changers, which consist of tool magazines, then tool identification system. Why tool identification system? Because you are perform variety of machining operations on that particular machines. Then due to machining operation, it produce a higher amount of heat. So for a higher amount of heat, due to presence of or during machining process, the higher amount of heat directly leads to damage the sharpness of tool. That is why basically coolant is used during this particular process. And the next important process is chip removal process. So as you know, the machining process is directly involved in case of removal of unwanted materials in the form of chips, and that chips should be easily collected from the machine to your different waste area or different disposal area where that can be easily removed from the workplace. So these are the things which is considered. The next part is that if you enable the automated storage and retrieval systems, and you consider it is the material handling system in the form of automated guide vehicles, it is easy to or you consider it should be maximize the use of different type of fixtures. And the last one is the machining center are well equipped tool storage system. We have already seen in case of single machines, numerical control machines, or you consider it is single numerical control machines, two-stage numerical control machines, or more than 4 number of numerical control. That numerical control machine consists of your tool magazines that you can easily go for quick tool changing depending upon the variety of machining process. The next is due to overheat, the tool need to be regrind to maintain the sharpness of the cutting edge, and provision of spare also helped in case of flexibilities regarding your manufacturing systems. So here are some example of fixtures. These are the fixtures starting from the angle plate and V block plate, then plain vise, then universal vise, then swivel vise. These are act as a you consider it is the fixture tools, or they can directly hold the particular work material and they perform. These are directly you consider it is fixed on the these are directly fixed on the job table. In the second figure, that you can see that on the fixture they can easily hold the particular job to perform various machining operations. Similarly, the next one is your automated storage and retrieval systems. So this is a numerical control storage system where it consists of different kind of shuttles. The shuttle is nothing like a conveyor. Then it also consists of a lift. Then roller conveyors are there, and different rake are there according to the job specification, size, and weight. Then the totes or the cartons are there. They can easily transport the material from the rake to the conveyor, or from the conveyor. By the help of lift, it should be reached up to the operator levels. The next is peak to light levels. In that case, peak to light level, the operator directly pick that particular product from the automated storage and retrieval system, and that is last one is after reaching up to the operator level, the operator directly picked and that should mounted on the machines. The next part is that in case of automated guide vehicles, as you see in this first figure, automated guide vehicles directly move on the track by the help of sensor. That sensor the sensor is guided on the route of track, and that should be reached from one workstation to other workstation. Similarly, the next figure in case of automated guide vehicles that consist of a steel coil, and that directly move from one workstation to that storage area by the help of automated guided vehicles. These are also applicable to e-commerce companies. These are also applicable to automotive company. They are also applicable to transportation companies, those who have wide variety of warehouse facilities. In these facilities, they are basically use automated guided vehicle for loading, unloading, and performing different logistic activities. The next one is known as your material handling equipments. In case of material handling equipments, used in case of flexible manufacturing system, which includes robots, conveyor, automated guided vehicle systems, monorails, and other rail guided vehicles, and other specially designed vehicle, or you can say that is customized vehicle for performing material handling system. So these are the important features. The first feature is they are integrated with machines center and the storage and retrieval systems, as we have already discussed. For prismatic part material handling system are accompanied with modular pallet fixtures, and some are also fixed with pallet. Then for rotational part, in case of industrial robots are used in case of load and unload, in case of turning machines and move the part between workstation to other workstation. And third feature is that the material handling system must be capable of being controlled directly by the computer systems to direct its various workstation for loading and unloading station and storage area also. As I told, these are also due to rapid growth in case of industrializations. Most of the multinational company are used these kind of machines in the form of robot, conveyor, automated guided vehicles, monorails, and rail guided vehicle also. So here is the typical example. In case of material handling, an articulate robot, that means an arm robot, is employed for loading and unloading of different material from one workstation to other workstations. And in case of conveyor, if you see, in case of most of the packaging industries, in case of logistic companies, they are using different kind of conveying system. In case of conveying system, it is the common piece of mechanical handling equipment that moves the material from one location to other locations. So in case of conveyor, these are there are basic two type of conveyor. One is belt type conveyor is used, one roller type conveyor is used in case of material handling systems. The next part is known as your rail guide vehicles. These are vastly used in case of FMCG company for transportation of raw material from one workstation to other workstation, and these are also vastly used in case of warehouse facilities where they can segmented different parts and they are directly stored to the different rack also. In this regard, a particular rail should be aligning with your automotive storage and retrieval system, and where they can perform loading and unloading activity, and they are also enable different kind of logistic performance according to the need of that warehouse facilities. The next type is that is known as inspection equipments. So why inspection? For increased qualities level, the inspection is very much needed, and it includes the coordinate measuring machines. So I will show that how the coordinate measuring machine. In case of coordinate measuring machines used for offline inspections, so basically they are programmed to measure dimensions, concentricity, perpendicularity, and flatness of surface. So these are distinguished features of this particular equipment is that well integrated with the machine centers. So whenever you go for inspection equipments, these equipments are directly placed in case of quality control department, and the quality control executive is responsible for measuring different aspect of dimension, then concentricity, the perpendicularity, and next one is the flatness of that particular work material. So these are very much distinguished, and they directly enable with integration with the machine centers. So here the typical example, these are the coordinate measuring machine used for the offline inspection, especially for the dimension, concentricity, perpendicularity, and flatness. So as you see in the second figure, a particular person is measuring the flatness of a job by the help of this coordinate measuring machines, and these are vastly used in case of automotive companies. It is also applicable to part building companies. It is also applicable to different polymer and plastic industry, where they can easily measure the different dimension, the flatness, the perpendicularity of their complex job. And the last one is known as your that is known as other component. In case of flexible manufacturing systems, the system is very much enabled with central coolant and efficient chip separation system. So as you know, most of the manufacturing process, starting from machining, then you can say that is drilling, boring, then counter boring, then chip removal, they are producing high amount of chips, and that chip should be easily separated by the efficient chip separation system. So that is why most of the company are enabled, and they should set up the chip removal system near to the machine center that can be easily separate the different kind of chip, whether should be metal, whether should be polymer, whether should be plastics. And the next important part, due to machinings, the whole environment produce huge amount of noise and huge amount of heat. So that is why the whole system is centrally coolant, or central cooling system is provided to that particular environment. That is why if you go to the organization like SAIL, if you go to the organization like NALCO, they provide the central chilling facilities to all department to remove unwanted or excess amount of heat from that work environment. That people who are directly involved in this particular environment, they should not hesitate to perform their machining job or perform their duty. So due to that thing, the features of this coolant, or you can say it is the central coolant and the chip separation system. The first is the system must be capable of removing the coolants. So most of the cases, the coolant are used in case of machining process, and due to that presence of that after machinings, the coolant contains the microparticles of unwanted chips or grain particles. You can say the micro grain particles of chips. And if you not provide the central coolant system or central cooling system in this regard, what will happen? The material directly go for overheating, and due to overheating, what will happen? More amount of breakage and more amount of maintenance should be needed. The next part is that the combination of part, fixture, and pellet must be cleaned properly. Remove the dirt and chip before the operation and inspection. So these are the so this is the next most important features as far as concerned with the chip removal system. So whenever you perform or whenever you go for the setup of machines, your parts, your fixture, your tool, your pellet, your spindle should be neat and clean, and that should be very much dirt free, or that should be or the chip should there is no particular microchips and presence of any chip before the operation and inspections. So here the central typical example of central coolant systems. In the central coolant system, the blue line indicates the coolant should be moved towards the number of workstations where they can perform various type of machining operations. Why coolant is required? Because due to presence of high heat, or due to generation of high heat in case of machining operation, like milling operation, like drilling operation, like grinding operation, like boring operation, it's every parts and every components need coolant. So after machining process, the coolant should be recycled, or they should be collected to the same plant, and they can perform different filter operations to remove the unwanted particles in the form of grain chips or granular chips from the coolant, and they should be recirculated to the machines. In this regard, most of the environment are providing the central coolant and chilling system for their automated machines or numerical control machines. So these are the things. The next part is that is the conceptual model of flexible manufacturing system. So in case of flexible manufacturing system, the first model is known as your progressive layout models, or it is also known as line type model or line type layout. The best for producing variety of parts. So these are enabled for producing variety of parts. So as you see in this particular figure consists of 4 number of workstations, starting from loading of machine, then loading of machines, then performing different tasks from starting from machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, and machine 4. Finally, the job is unloaded and the part should be completed. In this regard, starting work part and the part transportation system can enable different operations in a progressive manner. There is no particular buffer is present in case of number of machines, and parts should be easily flow from one place to other place in a progressive manner. The next part is that the next model is that is known as closed loop layout model. The features are the part can be skip station for flexibilities, used for large part sizes, based for long process times. So here the typical figure of your the first one is the best example in case of cloth dyings. In case of cloth dyeing, suppose you are go for performing the cloth dyeing operation in case of your washing machine. In that washing machine, what will happen? The inputs are the desired dryness and the electricity energy. By the help of controller, it produces a heating element, the heat to your cloth, and finally your cloth is dyeing. That is the output. But due to presence of this particular sensor, if you find any kind of error, that should be directly feedbacks, or the feedback loop should be directly inserted inside the controller. So this thing directly skips in case of flexibility. If you find any kind of difficulty from the output level, that should be directly communicate to the first level of in the form of controller. So similarly, if you go to the second figure, in this figure, as you see, a automated guide vehicle is directly connected with 5 number of workstations, and whenever the machine loading and unloading station provide the raw material starting from workstation number 1, 2, and simultaneously 3 and 4, and finally reach for up to the inspection machine. From the inspection machine to the output level, if you find any difficulty, by the presence of this automated guide vehicle or conveyor in the form of zero shape, that provide the feedback loop to the initial point. If you find any kind of difficulty, that part should be moved from that workstation to your initial point, where it should be go for more number of consider quality control or inspection levels, and it should be easily eliminate the different part complexities or any kind of precision error. If you find any kind of precision error, that should be easily eliminated by the help of this you consider this closed loop layout machines. The next layout is known as your ladder layout model. The part can be sent to any machine in any sequence, and part not limited to particular part families. So here the typical features of your ladle type layout model. So in case of ladle type layout model, consists of number of workstations are located. As you see in the particular figure, there are 4 number of workstations. They are well connected with each other by the help of automated guide vehicle, by the help of monorail, by the help of rail guided vehicles also. So this reduces the average travel distance, thereby reducing the transport time between workstations. So due to well connected between workstation 1, 2, 3, 4, so whenever they receive the raw material, if you find any difficulty, they directly skip to the, for example, in case of workstation number 1, if there is any buffer, they directly send to the material to workstation number 4. Similarly, the workstation number 4 find any difficulty, that should be directly shipped to workstation number 2. And in this manner, they have arranged this particular layout to reduce the transport time between one workstation to other workstations. So if you go to the another figure, just look, in case of starting of part, they're indicating the red colors. So whenever you insert inside the number of machine, that is 4 number of machine are there. So due to presence of this automated guide vehicles and monorails, you can see that is the rail guided vehicles. The material should be easily transported to any kind or any type of workstation, whether it should be 1, whether it should be 4, whether it should be 3, or whether it should be 4. In this regard, they can perform in a quickly manner, or the part should be reached up to maximum number of workstation without any kind of hesitation, and finally you can complete the parts. The next type is known as your next model is known as your conceptual model of flexible. Next model is known as your open field layout. In case of open field layout, it has the basic features like most complex FMS layout and includes several support systems. So what kind of support system we'll discuss? In case of open field layout confusion consists of different loops, or you can say it is closed loops. It also include ladders layout and also include sliding organized to achieve the desired processing requirement. This appropriate for large family of parts. So whenever you perform a large volume of complex part or complexity of job, so this appropriate in case of large family part and sub part also. So as you indicate, the red color also indicate the movement of raw material starting from one workstation to other workstation, and by the help of that automated guide vehicles, it should be reached up to the maximum number of your workstations, and they can use a different kind of starting from the closed loop layout, ladder layout, and they have a different kind of sliding organized to achieve desired processing requirement in a speedy manner and faster manner. So these are the different models starting from closed loop layout, ladder layout, then progressive layout, and open field layout. These are very much or vastly used in case of flexible manufacturing system layout or layout model. Then the next one is your advantages of manufacturing systems or flexible manufacturing systems. So in case of advantages of flexible manufacturing system, it basically include reduce manufacturing cost. The next is lower cost per unit. The next is greater labor productivities, greater machine efficiency, improved qualities, reduce part inventory, adaptability to computer design and computer-aided manufacturing operations, shorter lead time, or you can say it is compress the lead times, improve efficiency. The next is increase production rate. So these are the basic advantages of flexible manufacturing system. And what are the drawbacks of this particular manufacturing system? The drawbacks are initial setup cost is very much high. So whenever you implement the flexible manufacturing system, the cost of investment is very much higher side, because you are enable the automated storage retrieval systems. The next is mini and micro computer with memory, and the next part is the cost of this machining software is very much higher side. The next is involvement of automated guide vehicles or other material handling devices. So these are directly initiate a higher amount of cost in case of investment or in case of setup of this particular flexible manufacturing system. The next is substantial pre-planning is needed in case of flexible manufacturing system. You cannot be directly perform the progressive layout without plannings or without pre-plannings. You cannot be perform the ladle layout without pre-planning. That is why the substantial planning is needed. And then the most important thing is that due to unpredictable and predictable customer demand, you cannot be performed directly. You go for the substantial or different type of pre-planning operations. The next is requirement of skill labor. In case of flexible manufacturing system, highly skilled and highly specialized people are required. The next is it is very much complicated system, because you initially you employed the FMS controller, then loading unloading system, then buffer management, is attached with different layout. The layout is guided by different automated vehicles or loading unloading vehicles or transport vehicles. The next part is that due to that thing, it is very much complicated to understand. Whenever it is complicated in case of operation, in case of performing various multiple tasks on variety of job also. Then maintenance is very much complicated. Why maintenance very much complicated? The first starting from the hardware, then software, then workstations, then automated storage and retrieval system, because it consists of rack, loading, unloading. Then next one is it contains different kind of elevators. In case it also contains different kind of conveyor belt. In case of roller, in case of wearing, it is very much complicated, because if you employ the flexible manufacturing system, you have to assign very highly skilled people for maintenance operations. So these are the things, or these are the very much you consider it is the important drawback of flexible manufacturing system. Then the next content is that that is known as machine loading and scheduling. Till date, any doubt from your side? Any doubt from your side? Anyone? Any doubts? Hello. Hello.
No, sir. No doubt.
No, sir.
Okay, Rekha, there is a question from my side. What kind of material handling system you have observed in case of visa steel? कौन सा मशीन वहां पे ऑब्जर्व किए हो मेटेरियल?
एक फर्निशिंग मशीन था जिसमें बहुत टेम्परेचर से आग जल रहा था,
वो मेटेरियल हैंडलिंग
और
मशीन
एक
नहीं है।
मशीन था फॉर मतलब
फर्नेस
क्या सर?
फर्नेस इज नॉट ए मेटेरियल हैंडलिंग डिवाइस।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा,
जहाँ पे हम लोग खड़े
हाँ
थे,
हाँ, एक मटेरियल हैंडलिंग डिवाइस था।
जहाँ पे हम
हाँ
लोग,
हाँ हाँ, एक ऊपर एक मशीन मूव कर रहा था।
एग्जैक्टली दैट इज नोन एज मेटेरियल हैंडलिंग मशीन। जहाँ पे हम लोग खड़े थे इन फ्रंट ऑफ
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
फर्नेस, in our back side on the top there is a conveyor belt is attached, and that directly feed the raw material inside the furnace. That is the material handling device. And another is that EOT crane. That crane lift the ladle from one workstation to other workstation. Have you observed that EOT cranes? क्रेन था ना, एक क्रेन उठा के लेके जा रहा था।
यस सर।
तो दिस टाइप ऑफ मेटेरियल हैंडलिंग
हाँ, मैं
डिवाइसेस,
वही वाला बोल रही थी।
हाँ, that is known as EOT crane, electrical overhead transport crane. In that case, basically the visa steel is employed. The first one is conveyor belt for feeding of raw material inside the furnace, and second one they involve EOT crane, different EOT crane for transportation of you can say that is raw material, even if your liquid we consider it is liquid steel from one furnace to other furnace, or even if they are used some kind of you can say that is ladle, जो एक बॉकेट जैसा था ना, वहां पे बॉकेट को लिफ्ट करके उनके लेके जा रहे थे क्रेन में, एक बाउल जैसा था ना वहां पे। हैव यू ऑब्जर्व दैट पर्टिकुलर बाउल इन केस ऑफ ladles? So these are the
Yes, sir.
basic
Yes,
material
sir.
handling device in case of visa steels. Clear? So if you go to the far away from that steel melting area in the storage area, they have enabled different kind of conveyor belts. In most cases, they are used roller type conveyor belt for transportation of huge amount of large volume of raw material to that particular surface area. Clear? And they are also enable different type of earth moving equipments. तुमने वहां पे जेसीबी देखा ना, वहां पे जेसीबी देखे थे वहां पे? Have you observed JCBs?
से याद
जो
नहीं आ
जेसीबी
रहा।
तोड़ रहा था, जिसको मतलब उठा के फिर तोड़ पटक रहा था, जो मतलब सॉलिडिफाई हो गया था, जो में those iron
अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ
a
हाँ हाँ
particular
हाँ,
earth moving. JCB is a brand. This is not the vehicle name. The vehicle name is earth moving equipment. So in case of earth moving, they are enable the JCB brand. तो JCB वहां पे तोड़ रहा था. They just break this particular things and directly ship from one place to other place. So this type of vehicle are directly enable in case of material handling systems. Clear? Hello. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's all from my side. Any question? Any
Sir?
question from your side?